Jai Jai Shri Caitanya, Jai Nityananda.
Jai Jai Shri Caitanya, Jai Nityananda.
Jai Advaita Chandra, Jai Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jai Advaita Chandra, Jai Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jai Jai Shri Caitanya, Jai Nityananda.
Jai Jai Shri Caitanya, Jai Nityananda.
Jai Advaita Chandra, Jai Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jai Advaita Chandra, Jai Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jai Jai Shri Caitanya, Jai Nityananda.
Jai Jai Shri Caitanya, Jai Nityananda.
Jai Advaita Chandra, Jai Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jai Advaita Chandra, Jai Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Devotees, how nice to be with you again and again. Yes, so this evening we will focus more on Lord Nityananda. Yeah, just a little bit different focus, sort of same but different. So Lord Nityananda, he is famous for taking the mission of his Lord Caitanya, just taking it to heart completely and becoming completely absorbed in spreading Krishna consciousness, even to just anybody, even people. That's one thing, preaching to nice people and interested people. It's another thing preaching to just anybody, just whoever happens to be the next person you bump into. So he was not really discriminating between who's a suitable candidate, who might not be a suitable candidate. As far as he was concerned, everybody has to get the mercy. And he was feeling that my business is just to give mercy. And of course, whose mercy? It's actually the mercy of Lord Caitanya. So he felt himself like that, like, I'm a servant of Lord Caitanya, and I have no other business, I have no other interest other than spreading his movement and just doing whatever can be done to give everybody, if possible, the mercy of my Lord Caitanya. So sometimes it happens when someone is like that, they accept, they accept the mission of their Lord or their senior, their master. They accept it very strongly, and even sometimes stronger than the person whose mission it is. Like we find that Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, he said, you got to surrender to me and then I'll deliver you from all sinful reactions. Yes, so, but the devotees, and just means all the devotees who are in Lord Krishna's mission, they don't really feel like you got to surrender, then we'll help you. But rather they'll help the person to surrender. Yes, so like this, the devotees are famous, at least in the context of the movement of Lord Caitanya. The devotees are famous for, say the mercy of Lord Krishna. The devotees are famous for giving Krishna's mercy more freely than Krishna. May sound possibly like a contradiction or some sort of an unusual idea, but still, it really is like that. And the same thing applies in terms of the relationship between Lord Caitanya and Lord Nityananda. So, Lord Caitanya is very enthusiastic to spread Krishna consciousness, to give people Krishna consciousness. Lord Nityananda, he was just ready to do anything with anyone, any time, day or night, to help them. Therefore it's said that that demon who would have been killed by Lord Ramachandra, Lord Krishna might spare his life. But then that demon who might be killed by Lord Krishna, then Lord Caitanya would spare his life. And the example there, at least, is that, there's a number of examples. Lord Krishna killed Shishupal and Dantavakra, but then they incarnated in their next lives in the pastimes of Lord Caitanya. They incarnated as Jagai and Madai. And Lord Caitanya, he was going to kill them. But on the appeal of Lord Nityananda, he didn't. So therefore it's said that that demon who even Lord Caitanya might kill, then Lord Caitanya might spare their life, but that demon, am I getting mixed up? That demon who Lord Caitanya might kill, Lord Nityananda would spare their life, but not just spare their life. He would give them Krishna prema, he would give them love for Krishna. It seems improbable, it seems impossible even, but that's what he did. And the example is particularly Madai, of Jagai and Madai. Lord Caitanya was going to kill him. And he was actually going to kill Jagai too. Jagai was not as bad as Madai, but in his own way he was bad enough. So that those demons who Lord Caitanya was going to kill, Lord Nityananda delivered them and gave them Krishna prema. So in this way, Lord Nityananda is considered to be the most merciful, actually. Not sort of independently, but because he's taking the mission of Lord Caitanya and just applying it very strongly, and even more strongly than Lord Caitanya himself. So therefore it says, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur makes the point that You know, you can identify a person, understand a person in terms of what their mission in life is. That's why when we talk about people, we normally identify them in terms of their occupation. Like you are a?
Engineer. Engineer.
What sort of engineer?
IT.
Yes, so Prabhuji, we will say, he's an engineer, IT engineer. And someone else, what would we say? What do you do? Actually, I've seen you around for years.
I'm a doctor.
Oh, you're a doctor? GP or?
No, I'm a pathologist.
Or pathologist. So when we talk about you, at least many people will say, oh, her, yeah, she's a pathologist. It's like her identity now. Yeah. And you are a?
Pharmacist.
She's a pharmacist. And you are a?
Student. I'm not working as of now. I'm a student.
You're retired. Oh no, you're a student. Okay. That's all right. And what do you do?
I'm a nutritionist.
A?
Nutritionist.
Oh, that's interesting. We need more of you. Okay, so you're a nutritionist, and this is how we'll identify. We tend to identify people in terms of their occupations, which means, at least in a certain sense, what is their mission in life. Yeah. So now, Lord Caitanya is Patita Pavan, the deliverer of the most fallen. That's like his identity, you could say. Patita Pavana Hetu Tava Avatar. And Mosamo Patita Prabhu Na Praibaya. You know, like, who are you? Oh, you're Patita Pavan. You're the deliverer of the most fallen. This is Narottam Das Thakur singing. That, and me, Mosamo Patita Prabhu, and me, I am the most fallen. So my claim to your mercy is first, because you're Patita Pavan. You're not sort of, you know, half and half Pavan, something like that. You're just Patita Pavan. Sort of going, I mean, you could say, going for the dregs, the worst. But you may have heard, I must have said a few times here before, that one devotee approached Srila Prabhupada once in a mood of humility and said, Srila Prabhupada, I'm just the most fallen. I'm the most fallen. And you know, he wasn't trying to impress Prabhupada or something like that. He just, at that point in time, he was just feeling like that. But then Srila Prabhupada looked at him and Srila Prabhupada said, actually, you know, you are not the most anything. You're simply insignificant. And that's, you know, some of us may sometimes say, oh, I'm the most fallen. But to be the most fallen, you've got to really go for it. Oh boy, I mean, you just got to go for it. It's a 24/7 job of just doing rotten things, just non-stop. And you know, this is Kali Yuga, so there's a lot of competition. A lot of competition for that post. So we can't claim to be the most fallen, we're just sort of normal fallen, sort of average fallen, nothing special. But anyway, this is Lord Caitanya. A person can be identified in terms of his or her occupation, because it's a big thing. When people get into some profession or something like that, it really, they study for years and they're living in that sort of world and that sort of mentality, whatever it is. And so therefore, people will say that, oh, he's an IT engineer, or she's a nutritionist, like that. Now the thing is that Lord Caitanya, he was keen to deliver people, but that keenness, that enthusiasm, that the mission consciousness became like overpowered when he met Jagai Madai, and he forgot that I've come, I am here, I am the deliverer of the most fallen, and that's what I'm here for. He forgot about it, and he thought, these two are just so fallen, they're too fallen, so I'm just going to kill them. And he was just about to, he was kind of in the process, raised his Sudarshan chakra, and he was just going to let them have it. But then Lord Nityananda threw himself at Lord Caitanya's lotus feet and said, no, please don't do that. You're famous as Patita Pavan, the deliverer of the most fallen, and here they are. This is them. So please don't kill them. You must deliver them. And if you don't deliver them, how can you claim to be Patita Pavan? It'll be a contradiction. So therefore, it's an example, but there are others, and we'll mention one. We'll tell you a story in due course. That Lord Nityananda, he was just so keen, enthusiastic, he just lived to deliver these anybody actually, but particularly the really drastic cases. So therefore, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, when he talks about this point about the identity of the person, who is a person, is so often determined on the basis of their occupation. So Lord Caitanya, who's he? He's Patita Pavan. That's who he is, that's what he is. But now Lord Nityananda had adopted Lord Caitanya's mission even more than Lord Caitanya had adopted his own mission. And therefore Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that in a sense, Lord Nityananda was more one with Lord Caitanya than Lord Caitanya was one with himself. Does it make sense? Well, if you think about it, you'll see that it makes sense. So let me just read a little something here. It's short, but it's really nice. It's just really nice. So Lord Nityananda, wherever he would go, he would sing the song. He would sing the song, Bhaja Gauranga, Kaha Gauranga, Lava Gaurangera Nama Re, Ye Jana Gauranga Bhaje, Sehoy Mora Prana Re. Worship Gauranga, chant the name of Gauranga, take the mercy of Gauranga. Anyone who worships Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu, that person is my life and soul. Yeah. Se hoi mora prana re. That person is my life and soul. So he would plead in this way wherever he would go. And if someone was so hard-hearted that even though Nitai, who's the embodiment of divine love and compassion, was begging, take the name of Gauranga, take the name of Krishna, if they still would refuse, then the Supreme Godhead in the form of Nityananda would get on his hands and knees and beg, please, I beg you, do not reject me. Do not spoil your human life. Take the name of Gauranga. Worship Gauranga. But then if they would still refuse, Lord Nityananda would prostrate himself on the ground, rolling in the dust, touching their feet, and plead with them with tears in his eyes, saying, do not spoil your human life. I beg you, I plead with you, I'll do anything. I'll be your servant eternally, but please chant the holy names of Krishna and Gauranga. So in this way, there's never been any incarnation of God who has ever manifested such mercy. Yes, so I'm going to tell you a pastime, but before I do that, I want to tell you something. We'll read something, in fact, from Srila Bhakti Caitanya Swami about Lord Nityananda and Srimati Radharani, because they are both considered to be the original gurus. Yeah. Now, how can you have two different people who are the original? Original normally means the one. But now here we've got two. Lord Nityananda and Srimati Radharani. So how does it work? Yes, so listen to this. Now, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta, he used sort of a level of English or a type of English which is very kind of academic. It's like Indian academic from 100 years ago. Means it's a little, unusual. So anyway, just listen to this. The Guru is the embodiment of the manifestation of the divinity to the pure, receptive spiritual essence of the disciple. Did you get that? Is your English? Anyway. Yeah, so the Guru is the manifestation of the divinity of the Lord to the heart of the disciple. Nityananda is the primary manifestive constituent of the divinity. He's like the primary, manifestation, you can say, of the Lord. Nityananda alone possesses the distinctive function of Guru. In Nityananda, this function is embodied. Nityananda is the servant God. He serves Sri Gaurasunda by the distinctive method of reverential servitude, which is sort of just an interesting point anyway, that in Chaitanya Leela, basically everyone, not actually everyone, but practically, is in dasya ras towards Lord Caitanya. They in Krishna Leela, they're in other, they're the other rasas. But in relation to Lord Caitanya specifically, They're all in that mood of Dasya Ras. So that's what he says. Srila Bhakti Caitanya says that Nityananda serves Lord Caitanya by the distinctive method of reverential servitude. You understand reverential? Anyone not understand reverential? Revering and just, very, what would you say?
Honoring to the level of God.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Is it honoring to the level of God?
Yeah, like that. Reverential. Honoring and, being very humble. Servitude, humble servant. So Nityananda is identical with Balaram of Krishna Lila. Sri Balaram is not the chum of Krishna, but his respected elder brother. It is an intimate relationship characterized by becoming reserved on one side and of respectful deference on the other. Deference meaning deferring to a person saying, okay, I'll do what you want. So he's reserved, he's very humble, but he's also just like a willing servant. On the other hand, individual souls are under the direction of Nityananda. They receive their service to Lord Caitanya or Krishna at his hands. So he gives them their service to Lord Caitanya or to Krishna, or to both even. He is not a jiva, he is divinity, means he is the Lord. The jiva can be the medium of service to the Absolute for another jiva. Do you get that idea? That's really straightforward. Yeah. The Absolute alone may communicate his service to separable constituents of himself. Means Krishna alone, the Supreme Lord alone, can really establish devotional service. So this is the real nature of the function of the Guru. The basic point here, I should have just paraphrased it, is that Lord Nityananda, he is overseeing service, particularly to Lord Caitanya. And he's giving people when he feels that he wants to, or he's willing to, he's giving service to Lord Caitanya particularly, but also sometimes to Krishna. He's giving that service. Yes. And also to Krishna, but only on a simple level. But Nityananda does not directly instruct in the confidential service of Krishna. Confidential means particularly conjugal rasa, madhurya rasa, but also parental rasa, because basically everyone's absorbed with Lord Caitanya in servitude. So Nityananda does not directly instruct in the confidential service of Krishna. Srimati Radhika is the guru of the inner circle of the servants of Krishna, means those in the higher rasas. Srimati Radhika, now here we just listen to this. Srimati Radhika, however, accepts the offer of service of only those souls who are specially favored by Nityananda and are deemed by him to be fit for her service. There is therefore a most intimate relationship between the function of Nityananda as a guru and that of Srimati Radhika, which is at once supplementary. Lord Nityananda's function supplements Radharani's function. Did you catch that? You got that? Yeah, I mean, the last point is that Radharani will not accept anyone to take part in Krishna's pastimes unless they are authorized by Lord Nityananda. Yeah. And Lord Nityananda, outside of those particular circles of very high-level devotion in the higher rasas in Krishna Lila, outside of that, the devotees who are involved in that sort of service, outside of that, Lord Nityananda is in charge of everyone. Particularly in service to Lord Caitanya, but also to some degree to those who are serving Krishna but not on the very high levels. Radharani's in charge of them, but she'll only accept people who he has given his stamp of approval to. That's interesting, isn't it? So that means Lord Nityananda is extremely important, just the most extremely important person. Yeah. You cannot approach Lord Caitanya without the mercy of Lord Nityananda. You cannot sort of almost do anything really without the mercy of Lord Nityananda. And you certainly can't enter into high level, like rasa types of relationships with Krishna without the authorization, without the approval of Lord Nityananda. So you got that. You got that. Therefore, we must worship Lord Nityananda. We really need to. Yes, okay, devotees. Hare Krishna. Sri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai. We have not finished for today. We are going to now go through a pastime, which, it's kind of popular, you could say. And you may have heard it before. But that's okay, because Prabhupada made the point that repetition of a good thing is good. It's not just like, oh, it's that story again, oh gosh, heard it before. No, it doesn't work like that. Now, I want to tell, there are two blessings here. They're found in Chaitanya Bhagavat, Antya Lila, or Antya Kanda it's usually called. Chapter 5 means the last part, Chaitanya Bhagavat. Chapter 5, verses 705 and 706. And let me just tell you what they are, rather than tell you afterwards. As I did yesterday, you remember that, regarding the blessings connected with hearing about Lord Chaitanya's interaction with Haridas Thakur. But now we're going to tell you in advance, so you can really, get your attention together. So verse 705, Yeshunaye Nityananda, Prabhura Akhyana, Tahare Maliba Gora Chandra Bhagavan, One who hears these topics of Nityananda Prabhu will attain the lotus feet of Lord Gaurachandra. And then verse 706. Dasyugana mochana yechita diashune Nityananda Chaitanya Dekibe se jane. Anyone who hears these topics of delivering the dacoits will see Nityananda Prabhu and Lord Caitanya face to face. So, get me? You got it? We have your attention. Give your attention, please. So, it's Vrindavandas Thakur begins the description by saying, please listen, devotees, to how Lord Nityananda delivered the most fallen. So, I'll paraphrase. Basically, what happened was, when Lord Caitanya took sannyas, as we were discussing last night, then Lord Caitanya, by Nityananda's arrangement, instead of going to Vrindavan, he went back to Navadvip, or actually to Shantipur, to the place of the Vajracharya, and met all the devotees from Navadvip there, including his mother, Mother Sachi. Then he asked his mother, where would you like me to stay? Now I'm a sannyasi. And she said, I don't want you to stay, you can't stay like here in Navadvip area. You've got to stay away somewhere. But I don't want you to stay too far away. It has to be a sacred place, so please stay in Jagannath Puri. So Lord Caitanya agreed. So now, there was in Navadvip, Jagai and Madai, they were bad enough. But this one, in Navadvip lived a Brahmin's son who had no peer among the thieves, means no equal amongst the criminals. His heart was filled with evil. He was the commander of an army of thieves. There was no mercy in his body. So he started, Lord Nityananda, what I was saying, then Lord Nityananda went with Lord Caitanya to Puri and stayed with him. But eventually Lord Caitanya, it's a bit of a long story, but Lord Caitanya told him, instructed him, that now you please return to Bengal, particularly Bengal, also northern Orissa. You return and spread the Sankirtan movement. I want you to do that. So Lord Nityananda did that. And particularly, Lord Nityananda was engaged in Harinam. He was engaged in Harinam, but not as you or I, or any of us here, sort of normal devotees, if there is such a thing, that we do Harinam. No. One thing was that he was, when he danced in Kirtan, it was just like extra dimensional. He would literally fly dancing in Kirtan. But the other thing, which was, just extremely striking also, was that Lord Nityananda would dress himself extremely extravagantly, extremely costly clothes. But not just that was just a small part. But the jewelry, he would wear kilos of gold and diamonds and just, worth by our standards, just millions of dollars and not rupees, millions of pounds maybe. Yeah, it was just really extreme, very, very extreme. And this bandit, this criminal, this thief, he saw Lord Nityananda like that, on Harinam. And he would follow him. And so he followed him for some days, trying to find out, where does he go? Where does he stay? When does he leave where he's staying? When does he go back to where he's staying? Because he's making a plan to attack him and rob him with his army of thieves. So Lord Nityananda at the time was staying with Hiranya Pandit, whose house is, if you know the Mayapur area, well, it's just sort of on the road going down to the boat ghat, down at the confluence of the Jalangi and the Ganges. Yeah, on the left. There's a temple there. And it's nice. They've got it set up quite nicely, like a house with dioramas. So Lord Nityananda was staying with this devotee, Hiranya Pandit, who was just really nice devotee. So now this, they use the term dacoit, which is like kind of an archaic English term for a thief, criminal, bandit, something like that. No good neck, that sort of person. Yeah, a dacoit. So he gathered his army, or his group of fellow thieves, and he's got it all worked out. So they went to near the house. The house was sort of off the road, and there were trees around, but there was a little area between the trees and the house. So they gathered in the trees, this whole team of them. They were armed with swords, daggers, tridents. So, meanwhile, Lord Nityananda was inside the house and he was taking prasadam. And inside the house, quite a big house, there was a whole lot of devotees and they were having kirtan. So it was just a really blissful scene. Lord Nityananda's companions were wild with the ecstasy of love for Lord Krishna. One devotee roared like a lion. Another made a sound like thunder. Anyone like to demonstrate? Lions roar. I'm just joking. Oh, you want to do it? I'm just joking, actually. But that's what was going on. One devotee roared like a lion, another made a sound like thunder. And the thieves were sitting under the trees and they were in a great mood themselves because they're thinking, tonight is tonight, today is the day. We are going to just, make millions to retire. Yeah, great. So they were really happy. And they were discussing, because they had also been out watching Lord Nityananda dancing in the Harinam, and they had kind of, eyed up all the different jewelry he was wearing. So one of them said, the gold bracelets and armlets are mine. Another one said, I will take the pearl necklaces. And another one said, I will take the gold anklets and the gold bangles. So like this. So there they are. It's kind of dark, but not really dark. They're waiting till it's really dark. And then they're just, like a whole group, they're just going to attack the house and kill, and going to be like extreme drama. However, by Lord Nityananda's wish, the goddess of sleep came and put a veil around those thieves. Means they all fell asleep. Yeah. They all fell asleep. One devotee had insomnia. I don't know if you know anyone or if you've had insomnia yourself. It's not nice. It's just really highly disruptive to your life. So this one devotee had insomnia, and he approached Prabhupada and asked, what's the cure for insomnia? And you know what Srila Prabhupada said? Read Srimad Bhagavatam. Because at the beginning of creation, the Nidra Devi, the demigoddess of sleep, approached Lord Vishnu and said, my Lord, my service is to make people sleep, but I can't do it with your devotees. They just won't sleep enough. So, and it's my service, I must do it. So you must please give me a blessing. How can I put your devotees to sleep? Like really make them sleep? And Lord Vishnu said that whenever my devotees are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, but they are not attentive, then you can do your service with the devotees. Yeah. So in the morning, they just slept through the whole night. When the crows cawed, the thieves awakened. They didn't even see the night. They were very unhappy. They violently quarreled. One of them said to another, you fell asleep first. And the other one said, or another one just said, you slept very soundly. So anyway, they decided, okay, look, now because they've just woken up the next day. So they decided, okay, today, it's now today, the next day, we'll come again. Yeah, we'll come again. And this time, we will be on top of things. So, yes. So they waited until the night was really dark. They had cleaned their weapons. They were dressed in black clothing. And they assembled under those trees. And they're about to come out and just race over to the house when they saw that there were these really, really big security people there. Really big, like 7 feet tall, 8 feet tall, about 7 feet wide, and just all muscle, just the big, powerful men. And they were guarding the whole house. And as they were guarding, again and again they were chanting the holy names of the Lord. They were giants. They were powerful and ferocious. The thieves saw that just one of those giants had the power to kill 100 of them. So what they did, the guards, they were devotees. They had big tilak. You know, you've seen some of these people like Sri Vaishnavas, they have big tilak, and really. So these men had big tilak, and they're marching up and down, and starting from the middle. So they both go from the middle of whichever side they're on. Then they both go out to the corner. Then they come back and they meet in the middle again. And when they meet, they would shout out, Haribol! What did they shout out?
Haribol!
Yeah. Haribol!
Haribol!
Yeah, and this is just kind of devastating looking situation. And they couldn't understand, where have these men come from? Maybe they're like some special group of soldiers from the army of some big king. So they had to quickly sort of leave quietly, and they didn't know what to do, so they waited. They had a meeting and they decided things are not working out because we have not been worshipping Goddess Chandi properly. Now, you have to be like a real die-hard Hindu to know who Chandi is. You know who Chandi is? She's a form of Durga, and she's really heavy, just really heavy. And she is worshipped by offerings of liquor and meat. So they decided, we have to do big Chandi puja and offer lots of meat and lots of liquor to Chandi, and then she'll give us her mercy and we'll be able to kill the people and rob them. So they did that. So then a few nights later, they gathered again, and everything seemed to be fine. The weather was fine. It was just really nice. And they were into it. Each thief armed himself with 5 or 10 weapons. Then they approached the house. As they approached the house, suddenly every one of them became blind. Just as they're crossing the grass before the house. Each one became blind. They did not have the power to see. Some of them fell into a ditch and were ferociously bitten by mosquitoes and leeches. Now, you probably even haven't experienced Siberian mosquitoes.
We have similar.
Maybe. You know, have you seen a mosquito this size? Siberian mosquitoes. and you try and wave them away, they don't go away. They're really dangerous and super aggressive. So these mosquitoes were like this. Deadly. And leeches. Have you met a leech before? In certain areas, like in Australia, they have so many leeches. And you go for a walk in nature, climb some hills or something, and you get back, and you find you got about 3 or 4 leeches on your legs that you didn't even notice, but they're there, and they suck your blood. And the way you notice, other than pulling up your pants or whatever, is that there's blood coming down on your feet from your leg. And then you've got to take the leeches off. So yeah, they're just sort of, really sort of gross. So some of them fell into a ditch and were ferociously bitten by mosquitoes and leeches. Others fell into a garbage pit, and they were ferociously bitten by scorpions. Anyone ever get bitten by a scorpion? Yeah. If you can never get bitten by a scorpion. You've seen scorpions. Yeah, you got it. They're just really bad. So others fell into thorn trees. I don't know, in India, if they have big thorn trees, like with big thorns, yeah. Well, these thorns, they're like this long, and they're like razor blades. They're just like razor blades. So they fell into these trees. They're blind, they can't see a thing. And they had to stay like this, they couldn't move. If they moved an arm, it would just get torn by these thorns. They're like super thorns. Yes. So their every limb was wounded by the thorns, and they had no power to move. Another one fell into a canal, and his hands and feet were broken. Another one found himself overcome by fever, and his body was just burning. So every thief felt terror in his heart. Yes. Some of them became dizzy and fell down, and forgetting who they were filled with terror. At that moment, the demigod Indra sent a great rainstorm to that place. So all these thieves were especially tortured by the rainstorm. Then hailstones fell on the thieves' bodies, but not just your ordinary. Have you seen like a real hailstorm? The ground, it's like it's been snowing. It's just white. But these hailstones, they were like this size. You get hit by one of them, just knock you out. So they could not save their lives. Everyone was plunged in an ocean of sufferings. So an endless rainstorm fell on the thieves. Their bodies trembled from the freezing cold. Attacked, blind, and attacked by the freezing rain, they were on the verge of death. because aware that these people were enemies of Lord Nityananda, the demigod Indra became angry and tortured the thieves very badly. So then the chief dacoit, the Brahmin dacoit, suddenly got a realization. He realized who Lord Nityananda actually was, that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the others, we don't really know what happened to them, at least at this point. But this one came running into the house. This big kirtan's going on, and suddenly this famous criminal, the worst of the worst, he's like Al Capone or famous criminal, came running in, screaming, "Save me, save me, save me," and threw himself at the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. "Save me, Lord Nityananda. You are the purifier of the fallen." The Brahmin roared, his arms raised. So Lord Nityananda, seeing the state of this Brahmin dacoit, Lord Nityananda smiled and asked the question, what has happened to you? "Oh Brahmin, please tell me. I see that your activities have become wonderful. What have you seen? What have you heard of Lord Krishna's glories? Without worrying, without trickery, please tell everything." But that dacoit Brahmin had no power to speak. He only wept. He fell to the ground, rolled in the courtyard. Spontaneously he laughed, cried, danced, and sang. So after some time he became peaceful. Excuse me. Yeah, children normally go outside. Yeah, so after a little while he became peaceful and he said to Lord Nityananda, "Lord, my home is in Nadia. I am a Brahmin in name only. My actions are those of a hunter or a chandala, a dog-eater. By always associating with wicked people, I became a violent thief. From the time of my birth, I have not been anything other than that. When they see me, everyone in Navadvip trembles in fear. There is not a sin that does not rest in my body. When I saw your glistening ornaments in my heart, I decided to steal them. In my heart, I desired to harm you. Therefore, my penance, what I will do is, I will die. I will go immediately and drown in the Ganges." Then Lord Nityananda said, "Listen, Brahmin, if you commit no more sins, I will accept all your karma. Give up violence, theft, and all misdeeds. Do them no more. Walk on the path of religion. Chant the holy names of Lord Krishna. Then you can deliver others. Go among the thieves and criminals. Bring them all to the path of Lord Krishna." Then Lord Nityananda took the garland from his neck and happily placed it around the neck of that Brahmin. Then Lord Nityananda, who's an ocean of mercy, placed his lotus feet on the Brahmin's head. So when his head received the mercy of Lord Nityananda's feet, the Brahmin's offenses were all broken into pieces. So he was given this service by Lord Nityananda of gathering the other dacoits and making them into devotees, and then forming a Sankirtan party which went all over Bengal. And because he was such a famous criminal, he was just extremely famous. What he would do, he would go door to door amongst the dacoit communities, knock on the door. Some like small-time dacoit opens the door and sees it's this one, he's the biggest of them all. And so then the big dacoit would say, chant Hare Krishna, become a devotee. And then, yes, yes. So he gathered a whole team of dacoits, but they were now devotees. So they became known as, the group was known as the Dacoit Vaishnavas. And they would go on Harinam. And, of course we have nice Harinam here, it's nice. And, so many places we have nice Harinam. But not like that Harinam. It was very heavy Harinam. Like maybe you've heard these taxis. I don't know if you have them here. South Africa, boy, we really got them. They go in vans, like small, like minibuses, and they play this loud music, which goes boom, boom, boom. So this is how the dacoit Brahmins, that's how their kirtan was done. Very loud, very heavy. So everybody knew when they heard them coming, everyone knew, aha, here come the dacoit Vaishnavas. And they converted, they turned many people into devotees. So there you go, devotees. Yeah. Renouncing theft, violence, and all misdeeds, the dacoits all became very saintly. They all chanted the holy names of Lord Krishna hundreds of thousands of times. They all became expert in devotional service to Lord Krishna by the mercy of Lord Nityananda. Shri Nityananda Prabhu Ke
Jai.
Shri Nityananda Prabhu Ke
Jai.
Shri Nityananda Prabhu Ke
Jai.
Go Premanande.
Haribol.
Okay, so there you go, devotees. Any comments, questions, any points anyone would like to raise? Jeff.
Thank you, Maharaj. Maharaj, I wanted to ask a question about, you were talking about the jivas. And the question is, in the Bhagavad Gita, on the one hand, Krishna talks about, he says his highest self, Param, his highest self, Param, flows through the Jiva Bhutani, the Jiva beings. And on the other hand, he says that's in book 7. On the other hand, in book 2, he says his embodied self in the Atman as the Dehin or Sharihin is, he says, Vidi, Yena, Sarvamidam, Tatam. Know that I pervade all things. So my question is, can you know the Krishna as the embodied self? Can you know him directly, like he says Vidi? Or do you have to go through, like you were saying, the Jiva Bhutani, and do you go through the Jiva Bhutani as part of your practice. It's a gradual process through the Jiva Bhutani that you gradually get to know Krishna.
Now, don't mind me saying this, but I suspect you may have been reading the wrong version of Bhagavad Gita.
Okay.
I suspect.
Okay.
Because let me quote to you one very important verse. It's Bhagavad Gita chapter 15, verse 7. Mama ivangso jiva loke, jiva bhuta sanatana, manashastan indriyani, prakriti stani kaushati. The living entities in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts. Due to conditioned life, they're struggling very hard with the six senses, which include the mind. So, they're described here, Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. Living entities are mine, or Ansa, Mama, Eva, Ansa. I mean, you understand enough Sanskrit to understand that. Mama, mine. Eva, definitely. Ansa means fragment, fragmental particle. So that's us, the living entities. We're little fragments of Krishna, but that does not mean that we are also Krishna. Doesn't mean that. We're his fragmental parts. We're separate from him. So, so Krishna, we are Atma, he is Param Atma. Where Atma means soul, living soul, but he's the supreme living soul. And we are eternally separate from him. And that's what we are, eternally. So, what needs to be done? I mean, he is himself. He is the Supreme Lord. He is Param Atma, the Supreme Being. And we are the little beings. Fragments in the sense we share the same qualities as him. He's eternal, so are we. We're no less eternal. Satchit, he is conscious, we are conscious. But he is supremely conscious. We are just very limited in consciousness, just in our own space, basically. But he's conscious of everything, everywhere. Satchit Ananda, he is blissful. We're also blissful. But he is blissful on a massive, unlimited scale. And we're just small, blissful entities. So the thing is, the idea is that we have to, as Krishna says at the end of Bhagavad Gita, Sarvadam Parichaja Mam Ekam Sharanam Raja. We have to surrender to him, become his devotees. In 1865, Krishna talks about that we have to Manmana Bhava Madbhakto Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru. You know that verse, very important. Manmana, think of me. Bhava Madbhakto, become my devotee. Madhyaji, worship me. And Mam Namaskuru, offer our namaskars, offer our respects to him. Yes. Mami Vaishyasi Satyante Pratijani Priyosime. Then you will come to me. Mami Vaishyasi means you'll come to me. Satyante, this is truth. This is true. Pratijani Priyosime. The reason is because by doing this, you will have become dear to me. Yes. And then next verse he says, Sarvadharma Parityajya, just give everything else up. Just surrender to me. So that's really the situation, and it's not confusing. In principle, it's quite simple. That we're just very little beings. He is the supreme unlimited being. We should just surrender to him, be his devotees, and just do like that, and carry on like that, and he'll be merciful to us. And then he will deliver us, and we'll be able to be with him eternally in the spiritual world, in the kingdom of God. So that's the thing.
Are we, as the little fragmented beings, are we the embodied self, the Dehim or the Sharirim?
Yeah, we are
are.
in the Sharia. We're in these bodies,
I didn't understand.
these
Thank you.
material bodies.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're
very much.
embodied. We're actually spiritual. We're eternal spiritual beings. But we're in these very sort of poor quality, temporary material bodies.
Thank you for explaining that.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, Prabhu.
Maharaj, my understanding is that prior to Srila Prabhupada coming to spread Krishna consciousness in the Western world, in India, there weren't really Gaura Nitai deities. Lord Caitanya would, there would be a deity of Lord Caitanya. But that Prabhupada introduced the worship of Gaura Nitai, Lord Caitanya, along with Lord Nityananda, because he felt that, we really need the mercy. So in the pastime that you were relating there, Lord Caitanya was going to kill, Madai, but Lord Nityananda said, if you kill Madai, you will have to kill everyone in Kali Yuga, because everyone is like Jagai and Madai. So therefore, my question is, so then what's the importance of Lord Nityananda, and how can we best please him and get his mercy if we really need his mercy?
Okay. Yeah, well, it's not that worship of Gaura Nitai was not going on before Prabhupada. It was definitely going on, but not on as broad, as wide a scale. Like the Nityananda Vamsa groups, which have been existing for hundreds of years. They were active and they were worshipping Gaura Nitai, but they were focusing on Nitai. And I, many years ago, at our Krishna Balaram temple, these devotees walked up to me and said, Nitai Gaur. And I said, Jai Gaur Nitai. And they said, no, Nitai Gaur. Oh, okay. They're obviously, on a bit of a trip or something. So their followers, they're coming in that line from Lord Nityananda. So, and they felt that he should be given sort of preeminence. But, Lord Nityananda is so wonderful because he has taken the mission of Lord Caitanya. It's not that like he had his mission, Lord Caitanya had his mission, they're independent. But he is so wonderful because he took the mission of Lord Caitanya and really developed it on a big scale. He was more enthusiastic to distribute Lord Chaitanya's mission, arguably, than Lord Caitanya himself. So I mentioned, maybe, I don't know if you were in the room at the time, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that, because we can understand who or what a person is by what their mission in life is. Lord Chaitanya's mission is Patita Pavan. And as his follower, Lord Nityananda accepted Lord Chaitanya's mission as his mission. But the thing is, like particularly as illustrated in the deliverance of Jagai and Madai, Lord Caitanya was just about to kill them, but Lord Caitanya delivered them. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that therefore it can be said that in terms of, a person's mission being who or what the person is, Lord Nityananda was more one with Lord Caitanya than Lord Caitanya was one with himself, in a sense. So yes, we should, because Lord Nityananda, it's just his life and soul to deliver the fallen souls. And I mean, it was even his sort of particular thing to try and find those who are like especially fallen. But as you said, there's so many people who are especially fallen nowadays. It's just chronic. It's amazing. So we should take up that mission of Lord Nityananda of delivering, in a general sense, the fallen conditioned souls. And what was your final point?
Yeah, you kind of answering it there really, which was how to please Lord Nityananda and how to, get his mercy. We need the mercy of Lord Nityananda.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, if we adopt his mission, if we adopt the mission of Lord Caitanya as our mission, then that will please him. And glorify Lord Caitanya. There's Bhaktivinoda's song, what is it? The song of the...
Koda Nitai.
Yeah. Ekba dekle, chakai jal, gora bole, nitai den, sakala sambal. That if Lord Nityananda sees Ekba one time, Ekba dekle, if he sees one time, take jal, a tear comes from your eye, gora bole, when you chant the name of Gora, then Gora bole, what is it? Sakala sambal, he'll give you everything. Yeah. Gora bole, anyway, yeah. If we just, if he sees a tear come to our eyes when we chant the name of Gora, he'll just give us everything. Doesn't mean he's going to give us loads of money or a new car or a new house or something. Of course, you never know, but basically, he'll just give you lots of mercy in the sense of a lot of ability and inspiration to develop the movement, the mission of Lord Caitanya. Yeah. Is that okay?
Yes, thank you. Just to follow on from that briefly, I often find myself praying more to Lord Nityananda than Lord Caitanya, because I feel that, he's even more merciful and saves even the more fallen, and therefore I feel like I'm better to approach Lord Nityananda than Lord Caitanya. But is that the correct understanding?
Well, it's not incorrect, but should keep the perspective that, why is he so merciful? It's on the basis of Lord Chaitanya's mercy. And where's the mercy coming from that he's distributing? It's coming from Lord Caitanya. Yeah, it's not just like there's him and his mercy and Lord Caitanya and Lord Chaitanya's mercy. That's not how it works. Like in the famous Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Karamore, Toma Vina Ke Dayanu Jagatas Samsari. Other than you, Toma Vina, other than you, Ke Dayalu, who can be merciful, Jagata Samsari, in this world of birth and death, other than you? But then he immediately goes on to pray, next as Lord Nityananda, you be merciful to me. Then Advaita Acharya, you be merciful to me. Then the 6 Goswamis, you be merciful to me. And then Srinivas Acharya, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, let me associate with your disciple, Ramachandra Das. So you be merciful to me. But he just started off by saying that Toma Vina, except for you. K means who, Dayalu, who can be merciful in this material world? No one can. So that's a very important point. To, you know, at least keep in mind that it's not these people and Nityananda himself, they're not just independently merciful people who have their own stock of mercy, which is just their stock, but they're all carrying the mercy of Lord Caitanya and distributing it. So therefore it's fine, but we should keep that in mind and reflect on that. And then Lord Nityananda will give more mercy. Because he doesn't feel that it's my mercy. He feels it's his mercy. Yeah, he's the Patita Pavan, not me. I'm just giving that mercy of deliverance of the fallen by his grace. Hare Krishna. Okay, so devotees and friends, anyone else got a point they'd like to raise?
Regarding Lord Nityananda and Lord Caitanya, it also reminded me, we did a drama for the Panihati festival where Rabindranath Das Swami, he came and was paying obeisances from far. And then Lord Nityananda says, you thief. And then we were discussing this, and one devotee told me the reason he calls him thief is because Lord Caitanya is his property. And Rabindranath Das Swami was paying obeisances straight, but he had to go through Lord Nityananda to get Lord Caitanya, basically. So that's the reason he was calling him a thief, because he was trying to steal his property. But then eventually how the Leela unfolds, he went to Nityananda, and then Nityananda made Lord Caitanya. Basically, yeah, through him, he got Lord Chaitanya's mercies.
Yes.
So just one reflection.
Yeah, it's an interesting idea. See, Lord Nityananda is very funny. Like so many devotees, he has an amazing sense of humor. He's not one of these dry, heavy philosopher types. Yeah, so it's like, you're keeping yourself, you're not giving me. But I mean, I think it's a nice idea. You're not giving me your association. You should give me your association. But anyway, I think that's a nice sort of realization.
It's not mine.
Well, you have adopted it. So now it is yours too. Right. So let us have a little kirtan, and then I assume some prasad.
Yeah, I think I can. Yeah, I think there's prashadam. I could smell it when I came in, so I hope it had been offered before I smelled it.
Okay. Sri Nityananda Prabhu Ki.
Jai.
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Ki.
Jai.
Shri Shri Nitai Ki.
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada Ki.
Jai.
Go Premanandi.
Hari Bol.
So let's stand up for some